Good morning, you guys. It is pitch black outside, so I'm having to use my overhead light. I just finished my hour of work that I do in the mornings for my part-time remote job, and anyway, now it's time to have a cup of coffee, and I'll get to do some knitting for a little while since my daughter's still asleep. I'm watching Simply Serving Vlogtober. Can't get enough. I almost wish that the days were... I wish that there were more days so I could have more vlogs, Lindsay. Anyway, so now that I've caught up on my MKAL Clue 1 again, and last night I was working on my Agnete cardigan, I have this project that I need to finish. This is my Avena pullover. This is a pattern by Jennifer Steingass. This is a project I started on a couple of months ago, I feel like. I'm not sure, maybe a month ago. There's all kinds of dog hair in it, my goodness. And the yoke is made out of my hand spun, and then the main color is my hand-dyed yarn. This is my Swamp Lore colorway. So I have the whole thing finished, and except for one of the sleeves. So the sleeve, I believe the sleeve only took me a day or two. So I could just go ahead and finish this, and I really should. So I might go ahead and start that right now while I have a minute to think and pick up my stitches. I'm really enjoying my Agnete brioche cardigan, but I know that I just have like one sleeve and that would be so simple, so I should just do that. And then I'm trying to decide, this is supposed to have an unfinished rolled neckline. I'm trying to decide if I want to keep that or not. The other pattern I've knit from her before has the same thing, and I actually don't really like it after I've worn it a while, but it was a much different size, so this neckline is smaller. Maybe I will like it. I'm going to knit the sleeve, try it on, see how it fits, and then potentially pick up and add some ribbing. I'm kind of leaning towards that, but we'll see. So I'm going to work on this one this morning. I'm going to turn the overhead light back off and be cozy. I'm just so happy about all of the knitting quilt patterns that are coming out. There's definitely already quite a few amazing, beautiful ones available, but I feel like that's been such a trendy project this past year, and that makes me so happy because it was maybe 2 days ago I was talking about how much I want to make quilts. I've only made a few, and they've all been, two were crib size and one was like a throw size, but anyway, I really have been wanting to make quilts so badly. I just don't have the space and time to do so right now, but knitting quilts I can totally do, so I'm very excited that this is such a trendy thing. I hope it doesn't go away anytime soon. Why it's good to just start things. This sweater has been sitting there with just one sleeve for I don't know how long. I've been working on it for maybe 30 minutes, and I've already done 2 of the decreases. I have 5 inches or so of sleeve. This will be done in no time. Breakfast this morning, I'm going to have some red kale. I really need this. I think this will help me feel better. I just needed some extra vitamins and minerals, and so that's breakfast, part of it anyway. And then my daughter has really been into carrots this past week, so I'm going to peel these and slice them and make some roasted glazed carrots for her, and she's still asleep, so hopefully they'll be ready when she wakes up. And then I'm making extras so she can have some for a snack or for part of her lunch later. And I think I'm also going to have some tempeh for breakfast. Okay, they're ready to go into the oven. I just added a tiny sprinkle of pink Himalayan salt. I have some chunks of Miyoko's cashew coconut butter, and I did cinnamon, and then I topped it with a tiny bit of pure maple syrup. I'm going to save these stems and chop them up and saute them at a later time to put on top of rice or something. I don't want to eat the stems right now. They're delicious. Some people don't like them at all and just waste them, but they're really delicious when they're sauteed, or you can put them in a slow cooker, so I'm going to save them. So right now I'm just going to eat the leafy part. If you are somebody who thinks you don't like kale, maybe you truly don't, but I would say give it another shot. You might just not be tenderizing it. I personally prefer the bitter taste of kale, so I don't usually tenderize mine unless I'm making it for my husband as well. But you can you can break up some of the compounds in the kale by just tenderizing it. So you can squeeze it, you can I mean, that's pretty much all you have to do is squeeze it, and that actually will cause some of the bitterness to disappear, so maybe give that a try. I'm just tossing the kale in some olive oil and a little bit of salt, garlic powder, and white pepper. I decided I'm going to make rice for breakfast and have the tempeh on top with my sauteed greens. I'm also going to put wakame seaweed in there, and then I'll probably put some white miso paste in my rice and top it with a little bit of tahini and sriracha. This is hands down one of my favorite ingredients. I put this in tons of stuff. It's just dried wakame seaweed, and it adds a delicious umami flavor to everything. You get a little bit of sodium, like the salty flavor from it too. So when I'm making rice, I like to throw in some of this wakame and so it starts out looking like this, kind of like tea leaves, but when it gets into the moisture, it expands a ton. I'm adding in my seaweed and my white miso paste to the rice as it cooks. The miso paste, sometimes you want to just dilute it in hot water because it can be hard to break down, but since there's still some moisture in the rice and it's hot, it'll break down in here. That's breakfast. I've got my rice with wakame seaweed and miso. I've got my sauteed kale. I ended up throwing a little bit of apple cider vinegar into the pan because I figured this dish would need a little bit of acid. And it's garlicky kale, and there's white pepper. And then I have my fried tempeh strips. So tempeh is a fermented soybean, and koji to ferment the soybeans. So if you've never had tempeh, it's kind of like tofu, but it has a richer flavor and the texture is nice and stiff. And so we like to just cook ours on both sides until golden in olive oil. I would rather have tofu this morning, but we don't have any. And so that's that. I'm going to put some tahini and sriracha on it. Carrots are done, and my daughter just woke up, so I'm going to let these cool down while I get ready for the day. I haven't actually started eating my breakfast. I just went and took a shower, so it's probably cold by now, but I'm running out of time to get ready for the day. Anyway, these are the carrots. Once they cool down, she'll get to enjoy them for breakfast, and I'll probably make her a pumpkin pancake to go with it. It's an hour later, and I'm finally sitting down to eat my breakfast. My daughter woke up right as it was finishing, and it was already past 8. I like to be getting ready by 8 o'clock so I can leave by 9:30. Anyway, I'm finally sitting down. It's 9:01, so I have a few minutes to eat before I have to pack up the car and get going. Ara has her roasted carrots, and then I didn't make a pumpkin pancake because I remembered I had some pumpkin muffins that I had frozen and set out to thaw, so she's enjoying that with some Miyoko's like cashew-based cream cheese. Is that yummy, baby? Uh-huh. Yeah. She's got a full mouth. Okay, I just got to the shop and I got some good news. My electrician, my hopefully electrician, is on his way out to look at the list I have for our building expansion. I have a list of just a few things that have to be done for the city to update some of the electrical, and then I will be all good to go to open our expansion. So, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that he's on his way out. Hopefully he can do stuff today. I don't know. He's coming out to look at my list and take a look at the building, but yeah, hopefully this will be a quick turnaround time and then I can start putting the furniture together and get the city to approve me and everything. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, I thought I would show you guys what this space is looking like so far. There is stuff absolutely everywhere, so you're not going to get a good impression of it right now, but here's a little reference. This is the other side of the yarn wall in which I'm always recording in front of, and then I've been, yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. This is the other side. So my husband saved himself some time and didn't paint that spot since we're going to take out this whole wall. That's as wide as the opening is going to be. That wall actually expands more, but the bathroom is on the other side, so it will be this wide, but that's pretty nice. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So it's just one big room. I mean, there's other little offshoot rooms, but this will be the retail space, and this is vastly expanding the current storefront space that we have. So my store is pretty large, but I have the whole back section closed off because that's my studio and where my baby hangs out. So this is going to open up the space so much. Before my husband started to renovate this building, it hadn't been used in a very long time. It had yellow and green carpet and the walls were yellow. Everything was, well, this color. Everything was this color. So this is super exciting. We've got these beautiful gray floors and white walls. I'm going to have a neon sign back there and lots of art. But yeah, oh gosh, I'm so excited to get this space going. There was, when I first got here this morning, there was a little spider like right in the corner of the door. And so I got well, I say little. I mean, he is little in the grand scheme, but he is big for a spider. Anyway, he was right here in the corner of the door. And I took a broom and I just gently shooed him outside, thinking he would leave. And he is just watching me. Hello, go away, please. I only say that because one time I had this exact same scenario happen where one of those spiders was by my front door and I shooed him out and he waited for me and I didn't know that. And so shortly after, when I opened the front door, he literally raced me into the building. So now I feel like this guy is waiting for his chance. So I've got my eye on you. He's still sitting there. This is harassment. So I am prepping yarn to be dyed. First thing is first, I have to get the yarn soaking in water. It needs to soak ideally for half an hour, but I like to let it soak for a little bit longer just to be sure. But the purpose of soaking is to make sure that all of the air is out of the fiber, so that the dye can fully penetrate all of the fibers. Because wool can be extremely hydrophobic, and that's what I'm dyeing today, is wool. Because it's so hydrophobic, it can resist dye, and so you can end up with splotchy, like unintentionally splotchy yarns. So you want them to be thoroughly soaked. This part can take a long time. This is usually when maybe I'd have a podcast or something going, listening to like an audiobook or music. If I don't have music playing in the store. I try to always have music playing in the store, but sometimes I forget to turn it on. That would be in the main room, but the speaker's loud enough I can usually hear it back here. I should go turn on some music for the store. When I play music in the store, it's usually something like a jazz playlist. So like, we've got some Coltrane, some Ella Fitzgerald, lots of Ella Fitzgerald, Aretha Franklin, pretty much all of your big hitters. Just some beautiful cozy stuff. I personally find that to be such an inspiring, well, it's a music genre I've listened to my whole life. I used to play tenor saxophone in a jazz band, actually. I love jazz. So I play that because I think that it creates like a nice, creative, but comfortable atmosphere, which is like, to me, the epitome of knitting and crocheting. But if I'm not, I just made a mess of this one. If I'm not playing jazz, and again, these are just like things I play for the store, not necessarily things that I just listen to all the time. I mostly listen to metal, actually, but for the store, I don't play metal. But I also often play the Animal Crossing soundtracks, or Studio Ghibli soundtracks, or Stardew Valley soundtracks. Those are my go-tos. I'm feeling bad about calling out my spider for harassing me because somebody stepped on him. Now I'm sad. I wish that he would have ran off somewhere. I don't know why he stayed right there in the walkway. There's a busy daycare next to me, and they have constant foot traffic, and they actually have both buildings on either side. So my yarn shop and my expansion, we're in the center of our little shopping strip, and on the sides of me are the daycare. Anyway, they get a lot of foot traffic, and somebody stepped on the spider. So now I'm really sad. Notes in style, thanks to Tammy of Cinematic Skeins. She sent me this calcifer stationery set. It's adorable. Sorry, no face. I have to make notes of what I need to dye today, so I'm looking at my yarn wall and seeing what I have out, and yeah, I'm getting to use this finally. Thank you, Tammy. I don't know if you're watching, but thank you. You guys go and watch Tammy and tell her I said thank you. It's noisy in here because the induction burners produce a lot of noise with their fans, but I've just gotten some I almost said pats and pawns. I've gotten some pots and pans going. They're heating up right now, and I have every dye under the sun, as you can see. I'm really obsessed with collecting dyes, different brands, all kinds of colors. I just love dyes. But I have a little list of the colorways I'm going to dye today. I don't have a ton of undyed yarn right now, so I'm having to be very selective about what I dye. So I'm going to start with, I've got a tonal going in this one. I've got one of my more popular speckled yarns going in here, and I will show you guys when they're done, or as I'm working on them. I don't know, we'll see how this goes. Trying something kind of new from the usual sort of romantic palette that I normally have. Occasionally I like to do really fun brights, and I've had this particular kind of yarn in my head that I've wanted to achieve for a long time now, and no matter what I do, I can't figure it out. So I'm trying this method, and I can already tell it's not going to turn out as I was hoping it would. I don't know why I cannot figure out this technique, but anyway, I think this will still be fun. I wish this was on sock yarn, but this is worsted. It would be a beautiful hat or an accessory, but that'd be some fun socks. Okay, quick, exciting update. My electrical work is done. I can't believe it. Just like that. So we have a couple of things that like my husband and I need to do. So we have to change out the kind of lock that's on the back door, and that is to pass the fire inspection. And I have those handles ready to go. So he's on his way right now to help me install them. And we have to update the countertop that's in like the kitchen room. Basically it's a room with a sink, and it currently has counters that have like plywood, and it has to be a non-porous kind of surface. We'll be using that room for yarn production and not food production, so we're not concerned with putting in new countertops. We're going to look at it today when my husband gets here, but I'm thinking we'll just take out the whole countertop and sink and replace it with one of those big deep well like laundry tubs, and then no counters. Eventually we'll put in glass top tables that my husband's already built, but for right now just the sink. And then I think that's it. I have to get my extinguishers for that unit inspected and tagged, and then that's all. So I can invite the city back out to check the building again and pass us for our inspection, and then we can start decorating and putting the shop together. Oh, it's really happening. So wow, today's been an exciting day. And I've been dyeing yarn all day today, so I have a lot of yarn that needs to dry. I have just, I think, 2 more pans right now currently going. I have a yarn shipment coming tomorrow, and that will have fingering weight. So today I did decay and worsted, so tomorrow I will start dyeing the fingering weight, or Friday, because it'll come in tomorrow. Friday I'll start dyeing some sock weight yarn. I have a special order to fill. I had a lovely lady, a lovely customer request full-sized skeins from my gnome collection that I did last year, I think. So I'm looking forward to dyeing those, and then I'll have a bunch of other skeins to just kind of look at what I have here and fill in what I think is missing. And then I also have some lace weight Surrey silk to dye, so I think I'll wait and see what I end up dyeing on fingering weight, and then I'll dye the lace weight, the Surrey, to kind of correspond, just in case anybody wants to get matching lace weight to make like a sweater or just some kind of project where you would hold it with the fingering weight. So I have yarn dyeing plans, and yeah, lots of yarn dyed today. It's been a really good, productive work day. I also just sent out my newsletter, which I send out every couple of months. I don't do it very often, just to make sure everybody knows that I won't be here. The shop will be closed next week, so the 17th through the 24th, that's a Tuesday through a Tuesday, and I'm always closed on Sunday and Monday, so I'll be closed for my New York trip. So I wanted to make sure everybody had a heads up. It's also on my website on the banner, so if you're watching this and you're one of my in-person customers, just FYI, I want to make sure everybody knows. I would hate for somebody to come out and me not be here. So I won't be here because I'll be in New York. And I also set up some special discount code emails, so maybe you'll receive one of those at some point. Okay, I think I'm going to take a small break before my husband gets here and we have to do the building maintenance. I'm going to take a small break and knit for a minute and drink some water. And dyeing yarn makes you really thirsty, and it's very tiring work. So you can see I'm a tiny bit sweaty. Not too bad because it's only 70 outside, so not too bad. But I'm still going to take a small break. One of our poor pumpkins got decapitated. My husband picked it up from the handle to bring it out of the rain, and it popped off. I'm getting ready to go to sleep, but I didn't get to record really after I got home because we had to go out and get supplies for our building renovation, but I thought I'd show you guys the little bit of knitting I got done today. I could have done this whole sleeve if I had had the time, but I didn't have the yarn anyway. My other skein was not the right color, so I had to over dye it today, so hopefully it'll be dry tomorrow and then I can finish my sleeve, but we almost have a finished object here. Anyway, good night. I'll see you tomorrow.